The time by Sagicor Bank is 7 o'clock.
Let's delve deep into the issues. We'll take you beneath the surface.
Greetings and salutations. My name is Orville Higgins and it's another edition of Fan Central.
Talking to the people at the heart of the top sporting stories. Hear from your favorite sportsmen and women and the administrators who work tirelessly to make it all happen. It's a live sports talk.
I've written an entire article.
Yes.
Looking at all the major issues every Tuesday at 9 p.m. It's Fan Central.
Tonight in CVM News at 7, probe launched into St. James Constable's death. Opposition questions FSC cash withdrawal. Prime Minister pushes productivity and rebuilding. MP calls for increased allocation for CDF. And later on in sports, Germany puts 7 past Curacao in World Cup opener. Hello from Kingston, Jamaica. This is CVM News at 7 for Sunday, June 14, 2026. I'm Carolyn Brown. Thanks so much for joining us. A 24-year-old police constable attached to the Maroon Town Police Station in St. James is dead from what investigators believe may be a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Constable Mikhail Francis was reportedly on duty at the station on Saturday morning. Information reaching our newsroom indicates shortly after 8 o'clock, the young officer walked to the rear section of the police compound. Moments later, fellow officers reportedly heard a loud explosion. The policemen and women on duty reportedly rushed to investigate and discovered Constable Francis suffering from a gunshot wound. He was taken to the Cornwall Regional Hospital where he was pronounced dead. Now, the incident has sent shockwaves through the police division, especially as sources indicate the constable had been on duty the night before. Reports further suggest prior to the incident, a person of interest had been taken into custody after allegedly being held while driving the officer's motor vehicle. The circumstances surrounding the constable's death remain under investigation. And detectives assigned to the Montego Bay Criminal Investigations Branch are now working to determine exactly what transpired. While Jamaica has recorded a decline in murders this year, advocates say violence against women remains a national crisis. The issue again came into focus following the suspected murder-suicide of a Manchester woman whose body was found in St. Elizabeth on Thursday of last week. Executive Director of Eve for Life, Joy Crawford, says the country must treat intimate partner violence as a serious threat to national development. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness says Jamaica must use the recovery from Hurricane Melissa to build a stronger and more competitive economy. He recently outlined priorities for growth, reconstruction and productivity. Here's more from Kevin Black.
Your Holiness is painting an optimistic picture of Jamaica's economy, despite the impact of Hurricane Melissa and global economic uncertainties. Addressing the Jamaica Chamber of Commerce's 41st Annual Awards Banquet, Dr. Holiness pointed to several economic indicators he says demonstrate the country's resilience.
Despite all the challenges, there is also good news. There is a lot to be proud of. Unemployment remains at record low. Inflation is back within the BOJ's target band. Our international reserves stand at US $6.5 billion, a record high. And to my other great achievement to which we should all be proud, the exchange rate has been stable.
The Prime Minister also used the occasion to promote the National Reconstruction and Resilience Authority, NARA, which he says will drive the country's largest ever rebuilding program.
The reconstruction spending that will come in NARA, it won't be just any ordinary capital expenditure. The possibility is that we could increase our GDP by more than 20% as a result.
Meanwhile, Dr. Holness argued that improving productivity must become a national priority, warning that wage increases without corresponding output could drive inflation.
Productivity is the heart of growth. It is how we turn effort into value. It is how wages rise without pushing prices out of control. For government, that means faster approvals, better project management, cleaner procurement, stronger digital services, and infrastructure that reduces the cost of doing business.
Kevin Black reporting for CVM News.
Let's go back to Executive Director of Eve for Life, Joy Crawford, who says the country must treat intimate partner violence as a serious threat to national development.
So while we're making efforts to protect our women, we have not been doing enough to look at the emotional well-being and skills of our men and our boys, their health-seeking behaviors as far as it concerns mental health. We don't have enough variation of sessions. We don't have enough civil society organization like Eve for Life, for example, receiving funding, receiving support to create the safe spaces, to create the healthy escape spaces that women need. And so
the government is insisting the Financial Services Commission remains on solid financial footing despite a $500 million transfer to the Consolidated Fund. However, opposition spokesman on finance, Julian Robinson, is raising concerns about the impact of the move, arguing it coincides with plans to increase fees charged by the regulator. Kevin Black has the details.
The government is defending its decision to withdraw $500 million from the Financial Services Commission, FSC. Finance Minister Favour Williams contends the withdrawal was to provide fiscal support to government revenues not tied to a specific project. But opposition spokesman on finance, Julian Robinson, says the move has contributed to the FSC's push to increase fees.
Well, I think you need to listen to what the head of the FSC said in Parliament. He said that the $500 million the government taking $500 million has had a material negative impact on the FSC, which has necessitated the FSC raising fees on insurance companies. Now, it's important to note, this is not an abstract discussion. When the FSC raises fees on insurance companies are simply going to pass on those costs to their end users.
Despite assurances from the government to assist the FSC if financing needs arise and pledging to put this commitment in writing, Robinson argues that the withdrawal may be a sign of broader fiscal pressures facing the government.
The government is, in my view, clearly looking for funding to ensure that they can pay their bills. And so they're going to all of these entities They see some cash, they take the cash, but then it puts the entity in a difficult position to honor its mandate. And now in the case of FSC has to raise rates. In the case of NHT, $11.4 million a year, which should be building houses for working Jamaicans who are so desperately in need of affordable housing.
Kevin Black reporting for CVM News.
The government is defending its record on infrastructure spending and pushing back against claims that local contractors are being left behind. Speaking at the opening of the new Spring Village Bridge in St. Catherine, Minister with responsibility for works, Robert Morgan, argued that billions of dollars in public work contracts have gone to Jamaican firms.
There has been some talk that the government is not investing enough in local contractors. I wish to posit today, before I take my seat, that the data does not support that assertion. Over the last 15 years, through JDIP, MDIP, SHIP, the government has spent a combined $1.2 billion on local infrastructure. Local contractors have received approximately 700 million of that amount.
St. Elizabeth Northeastern Member of Parliament and opposition spokesperson on Justice Zuleika Jess and her driver have been fined after both pleaded guilty to traffic-related offences linked to a March 31 stop in Santa Cruz. Now, the court was told the vehicle was allegedly operating without valid insurance and a certificate of fitness, while the driver also faced a charge of using a mobile phone while driving. Jess was later charged with aiding and abetting those offences. Both appeared before the Balaclava Traffic Court on Friday and were fined.
I can now speak about it because the matter has actually been resolved in court, so it's no longer sub judice. What had happened is that earlier this year, my driver would have been stopped by the police. At the time, it was noted that the cover note had expired, so he had the old documents. The truth is we had actually paid for the insurance. We had actually updated the fitness, but those documents were not in the possession of the vehicle because the time had actually just passed. So we had the updated documents, but they were not in the vehicle. At court today, we brought the updated documents. Initially, we were contemplating entering a not guilty plea because of the circumstances. Upon advice of counsel, we decided to end the matter because...
We'll continue with more CVM News at 7 right after this.
The internationally acclaimed On Stage with Winfred Williams.
At a new time, Saturdays at 8 p.m. on CVM TV.
So much more than entertainment.
Let's delve deep into the issues. We'll take you beneath the surface.
Greetings and salutations. My name is Orville Higgins, and it's another edition of Fan Central.
Talking to the people at the heart of the top sporting stories. Hear from your favorite sportsmen and women and the administrators who work tirelessly to make it all happen. It's live sports talk.
I've written an entire article.
Yes.
Looking at all the major issues every Tuesday at 9 p.m. It's Fan Central.
Playing and the people that I say we are mash up the night.
Welcome back. Vice President and General Manager of telecoms company Flow Jamaica, Stephen Price, says its customers will not be compensated for breaches of its subscription television license last year. The breaches were flagged by the Broadcasting Commission of Jamaica, BCJ. Telecoms provider Digicel was also named by the BCJ for similar breaches. Both Flow and Digicel were adjudged by the Commission to have provided substandard customer service arising from channel changes. Now, according to Price, what the BCJ highlighted was a communications breach.
There's no immediate plans to do any compensation in that space in terms of how we communicated the removals, etc. Our terms and conditions guide us on that. We've taken that feedback on board from the Broadcasting Commission, and we'll do so in future if there are any challenges and any movements or changes.
Jamaica is making headway as a global example in the labor market by increasing post-disaster productivity, navigating employment standards, and rebuilding with purpose. Speaking at the Jamaica Employers Federation's convention, Labour Minister Colonel Charles Jr. reflected on the theme, Rebuilding with Purpose, Turning Crisis into Opportunity. Crystal Williams tells us more.
The Labour Minister says he would like the Jamaica Employers Federation to see that their success is synonymous with the ministry's success. As the country continues to rebuild, he believes this will be achieved by strengthening productivity and ensuring that businesses have the tools to remain competitive.
Things are shifting, things have shifted. And so we also have to adapt our minds. So when you look on COVID, when you look on Beryl, when you look on Melissa, it is forcing us to rebuild with purpose. It is forcing us to define the avenues to truly turn crisis into opportunity. And what we defined it as in the national statement to the world last week was that we would be redefining resilience.
Over the past few years, due to global shocks, many businesses have been forced to adjust operations. The Labour Minister highlighted the importance of high productivity in a country with low employment in order to make Jamaica competitive in a shrinking global market.
Many sectors have experienced shocks beyond just the climate and other impacts to the country. So we have seen unemployment fall last year to its lowest 3.3%, and now we're hovering between 3.5, 3.6. So these are good positive indicators, but there's still much more for us to do. And we, at the Ministry of Labour, speak to those issues.
He says Jamaica was globally selected in Geneva to lead conversations on social dialogue and tripartism.
When we talk about rebuilding with purpose and turning crisis into opportunity, it is timely. It is relevant. It speaks to the reality of Jamaica. And like many other countries, we have had no choice but to navigate the challenges while finding opportunities for growth, for innovation, and for resilience. And for us, this theme is meaningful.
Crystal Williams reporting for CVM News.
Most of Jamaica's courthouses are outdated, some of which have been around for over a century. That's according to Justice Minister Delroy Chuck. Minister Chuck told Parliament several of these courthouses in Western Jamaica were deemed unsafe after Hurricane Melissa. And it's why he notes plans to construct 4 new courts while other suitable sites are being identified in other parishes.
So, Madam Speaker, given the current state of the justice infrastructure, I am pleased to inform you that during the last fiscal year, we kick-started the planning process for building 4 new courts in St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, St. Anne, and Trelawney, respectively. It is the intention of the government that these 4 new courts will be part of the priority project to be facilitated by NARA, the National Reconstruction and Resilience Authority.
He says the 4 new courts will bring modern construction and innovation to the halls of justice, and over the 3 years, he hopes to see another 8 new courts, including 4 under Nara and others in St. Catherine and Manchester. During the ongoing Clansman gang trial, a prosecution witness who previously testified of having to abandon his family also told the court he had had to sleep outside after being robbed. Carla Ramdeen reports.
A prosecution witness testified that on August 10, 2022, he was heading home from work in downtown Kingston with his family when a car crashed into the rear of his bus. The witness told the court that he got out to inspect the damage and observed that the bus had what he described as, quote, a liquor sink, adding that the car behind him, quote, did tint up, and he could not see anyone inside. According to the witness, he motioned towards the vehicle and held up his hands. When the presiding judge, Justice Dale Palmer, asked him to explain the gesture, he told the court that it meant, quote, how you just licked me so, referring to the collision. The witness continued his testimony saying, "Me see the door them fly open and 4 man me see come out of the car. 4 gun them have out." He told the court the men said, quote, "Boy, don't move." The witness said that upon seeing the armed men, he ran into nearby bushes, forgetting that his family remained inside the bus. He testified that from where he was hiding, he said he saw 2 men approach the bus and, quote, "juke up my baby mother and my daughter," before ordering them to get out of the vehicle. He said that the men pointed guns at them and shouted, quote, "Yo, jump out." He told the court that he watched his family, quote, jump out of the bus and ran into the bushes. According to the witness, 2 of the men then got into the bus while the other 2 returned to the car. He said both vehicles were driven from the scene. The witness testified that he came out of the bushes and began running behind the bus while calling out for help. Quote, "Me stand up in the middle of the road and me see a car and it looked like it not stop," he told the court. He said that after a couple of minutes, someone stopped and assisted him. The witness further testified that he pointed out the bus and together they followed behind it until they came upon police officers and soldiers, to whom they reported the incident. While their calls were made and a police van later arrived and transported him to Spanish Town Police Station, where he gave a statement. The witness told the court that his family was later picked up by police and also provided statements to investigators. The evidence goes towards count 32. The men charged in relation to the incident are the accused Ryan Harrison and Bjorn Thomas. Carla Ramdeen, CVM News.
Let's now turn to regional and international news.
We begin with news in the region. In Trinidad and Tobago, an overnight fire along Prince Street in Port of Spain has claimed the lives of 2 women and left several businesses in ruins. TTT News has the latest.
The blaze, which broke out around 9 p.m. between George and Charlotte Streets, quickly engulfed a multi-story building, trapping occupants inside and forcing some to jump to safety as emergency responders battled the flames. The victims have been identified as 2 women, one believed to be in her 50s and the other in her 20s. At least 5 businesses were destroyed, with millions of dollars in losses expected and scores of workers now facing uncertainty. Speaking at the scene, community activist Lennox Smith said while the incident was deeply tragic, the actions of residents helped prevent an even greater loss of life.
I want to treat with as well Taylor, who occupies that part of that building as well. He guided persons. He was inside of the fire itself. They used some very brittle wood to make a crossing, a bridge into another building so that they save lives.
And on the international scene, the UK has seized a Cameroon-flagged tanker, but it says the vessel actually belongs to Russia's Shadow Fleet. We hear more from Al Jazeera.
This is the moment the British Armed Forces boarded a vessel in the English Channel. The British Defence Ministry says the Cameroon-flagged ship was intercepted with Royal Marine Commandos and National Crime Agency authorities. Prime Minister Keir Starmer says the tanker, named Simtros, is part of Russia's so-called Shadow Fleet. Those ships often sail under different flags in order to skirt sanctions on Moscow. Starmer has called the operation yet another blow for Russia. He also says it's a reminder for those fueling Putin's war in Ukraine that we will not let them hide. Oil revenue is a critical part of Russia's economy, and it helps offset the cost of the more than 4 years' war on Ukraine. But this incident isn't an isolated one. Last month, the French Navy, backed by the UK, intercepted another vessel suspected of being part of Russia's shadow fleet. To date, Britain has imposed sanctions on more than 500 suspected shadow fleet vessels. Putin has condemned the capture of the alleged shadow fleet vessels as piracy.
And that's it for regional and international news. I'm Kevin Black.
Stay for sports. Up next.
The internationally acclaimed On Stage with Winfred Williams.
At a new time, Saturdays at 8 p.m. on CVM TV.
So much more than entertainment.
Let's delve deep into the issues. We'll take you beneath the surface.
Greetings and salutations. My name is Orville Higgins, and it's another edition of Fan Central.
Talking to the people at the heart of the top sporting stories. Hear from your favorite sportsmen and women and the administrators who work tirelessly to make it all happen. It's live sports talk.
I've written an entire article.
Looking at all the major issues every Tuesday at 9 p.m. It's Fan Central.
Tune in to Lead Story, weekdays at 6 p.m. Hosted by Jody Ann Quarry.
Hi, I am Kendi Pang.
Watagwan.
Watagwan.
Datagwan.
Watagwan.
Watagwan. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8 a.m., 1:30 p.m., and 10 p.m. on CVM TV.
Datagwan pa Watagwan.
The internationally acclaimed On Stage with Winfred Williams.
At a new time, Saturdays at 8 p.m. on CVM TV.
So much more than entertainment.
Let's delve deep into the issues. We'll take you beneath the surface.
Greetings and salutations. My name is Orville Higgins, and it's another edition of Fan Central.
Talking to the people at the heart of the top sporting stories. Hear from your favorite sportsmen and women and the administrators who work tirelessly to make it all happen. It's live sports talk.
I've written an entire article.
Looking at all the major issues every Tuesday at 9 p.m. It's Fan Central.